All right, I'd like to give you some feedback on your draft for Project 1. So I've downloaded them all from iLearn, and I did notice that many of you didn't submit a PDF to iLearn. I got 15 out of 22, so 7 of you didn't submit a PDF. If you don't see yours in one of these videos that I send you, then you didn't submit it on iLearn. So um, you'll have to figure that out, or I'll be happy to help if I can, or the lab assistants. But anyway, I'd like to start with this first one. This is a really strong example. It's nice, and the lines are all clean, and there's good white space. I love this line right here, going from this C all the way down, even connecting up to the logo, the strong part on the logo. That's a great line that unites all of that stuff. And then here on this side, there's one more strong line. And then even these boxes are aligned with something. So that's great. Some nice strong alignments. Here even, here's a vertical one where the top of this picture aligns with the top of this word and the bottom with this. So strong lines, again, good white space, good contrast here in the title. I don't know that there's much I would do with this particular one. There's a nice little bit of contrast here in the size and weight of these words. Here in October 21st, that really helps that to be readable and findable, but still grouped with this other information. So wonderful. This is a really strong project. If I was going to do anything to this project, it would be to consider how I could add some uniqueness and some contrast. But I would only do that if I could do it without sacrificing the good things that are happening on it already. For example, this white space here, I wouldn't sacrifice that. Anyway, I'm going to move on. So here's the next one. It's also a strong project. My gut feeling right now is that this word graduate is separated from these words, mostly because of this box and maybe a little bit of the space between those. There's a nice contrast here between the fonts. It would be better contrast if either the sizes or the weights of the fonts were more pronounced, the differences in the weight and the size. I like that this is a little bit bigger. Nice strong line here, going all the way down through all this information. Nice contrast here on the date, time, and place. I would tell everyone to get rid of the http://www. These days, most people can tell if it has a .com in it that it is a web address. This web address needs to have a /leaders on it, though, so you're missing that piece of information. Logo's working pretty well over here. It might be a little bit big, but it's a size that allows you to see to read the voyant communication there, and it's probably in about the right place for alignment. Typically, I discourage people from using a thin black stroke around things. For some reason, that decreases the finished look, the professional look. I like this strong bar. My only question about it is it worth the visual attention that it's getting? So because it's so heavy and so large and so black, it's really calling a lot of attention to itself, but there's not really anything here for my eye, either informational or communicational. Just notice that L, how it lines up with the edge of this box. That's a nice little touch. Really like that. That strengthens that line. Okay, let's do the next one. here's another nice strong piece. If whenever I see center aligned text, I'm always going to comment on that. Uh, it's not good to center align text because it hides the strength and the unity that that text potentially could have. So compared to this strong left line that our eye easily sees and connects, the line that's here is in the middle of these four lines, and so it's hidden. These three words, graduation leadership conference, I would bring them closer together so they feel like a single unit. Right now they're functioning as three separate pieces. Logo's working pretty well there. I'm not sure what it's aligned to is the only thing. Not quite the top of his head, doesn't look like. There's a little bit of white space down here. I wouldn't mind a little more white space, but I think bringing these three closer together would help that. I wouldn't mind some contrast. See, all of this text visually is the same. It has the same size, the same font, the same weight. So add some contrast in here to make this more skimmable and easier to find information. Wow, some really strong pop in the text. This white text on black background pops out nicely. These three words are nicely grouped. Great contrast. It feels a little bit crowded here at the edges of this black box. Same thing here at the edges of this black box. This text feels a little bit squished. I'm not positive that it is, but it just seems like it's too short for its, or too wide for its height. I think logo works really well here. There's some good attention, if that's what you want, is some attention to the company name. You want to get rid of all of these hyphens, and that might make this really narrow column for your text. It might force you to do something differently, because once you get rid of the hyphens, then that's going to change this. But yeah, don't have any hyphens in your body copy, especially not this many hyphens. You've got tons of them. All this text has the same weight. I'd like some contrast. There's some nice strong lines here. This nice big photo is great. You might have to sacrifice a little bit of it so you can give us some more width and some more space in these black boxes. Okay, so there's a nice repeating element with this oval and the diamond behind it, and repeats down here. The problem with that shape is that it creates a tangent here and here, where that point comes down and jabs at the text, and there. And then it looks like something's off, like the printing got off. I'm sure that's not what happened, but because of where this is landing, I'm not sure if that was intended. It looks like an accident. This nice contrast here. I haven't said this yet, so I'll just say it once. Be sure you check your spelling. The spelling here might be just fine. I haven't looked at it closely, but I'll just say it once for all of the critiques. Be sure that you check your spelling. Okay. This is kind of a central line deal, which maybe you can get away with it here. This is a nice subtle gradient, better than a full black to white. Same thing here, nice subtle gradient. A little bit of a tangent right there, definitely a tangent right there, and a tangent right there. This text feels like it has enough space, and this text is very approachable. A little bit of contrast, so overall good job. I wonder what would happen if you just took this diamond out, if that would solve a lot of the tangent issues. And then, I'm not sure that part of the reason you're center aligning this is because this is an oval, and you just need some unity here between this photo and the title, but then everything else is kind of got a left alignment. Anyway, I'd play with this and some more. Hope that feedback is helpful. First thing I notice here is color. No color is allowed on this project. It's a black and white project. Be sure you take all that color out of there. Look at all the center aligning. Okay, don't center align your text here or here. It weakens it. Give me some contrast in here. This logo works pretty good there, I think. I like how you found the strong place on the left and on the right. I need some white space. Right now everything feels busy and crowded and full. I mean, there's a little bit here and a little bit here. But a lot of it is trapped in the middle, and then there's not much around the edges. Every project also needs to have a half-inch white border around it, so make sure that you don't put anything any closer than a half-inch to that edge. I'd like to see some contrast in this title. I'm not sure what it looks like